10 simple tips to improve your English pronunciation. Source from ESL. Tip number 1. Decide on the option of English. English has different ways of pronouncing the same words. For example, in many cases, the British do not pronounce the letter R, while Americans do. Australian English uses very different vowels than British English, which means that the same word can sound completely different. So don't get confused when you hear different statements. Choose which accent you want to teach yourself and look for films or series from the corresponding country to discover the characteristics of the pronunciation. Tip number 2. Break the words down into sound. Practice a number of basic sounds from the English language every day. Start with the vowel sounds, and these are letters or syllables. Breaking the word into syllables will make it easier for you to pronounce. After practicing the sounds of each syllable, switch to the pronunciation of the entire word, and then use the words in a sentence. This way, you will be busy improving your English pronunciation every day without any struggle. Tip number 3. Talk more slowly. Quick talk reinforces bad habits. You will find that many people rattle on in the hope that wrong statement will go unnoticed. Try to find peace when talking. Give yourself time to pay attention to the pronunciation of the words you will use when speaking. That way, you are actively recognizing errors and working towards a better English pronunciation. Tip number 4. Imitate an English expert. There is no greater expert than the Englishman himself. In the media, you'll find English speakers everywhere. You can turn on English radio, watch TV, or follow an English series without subtitles. Listen very carefully and focus on the pronunciation of the English words. Even if you do not know the meaning of the terms, you learn the correct sounds and intonation. In this way, you can improve your English pronunciation well. Tip number 5. Practice on your own. Pronunciation problems often persist because people are afraid of making mistakes, hence avoiding some words as much as possible. As earlier said, imitating an English expert is the best way to learn some of the pronunciations that you find hard. Practice and speak out loud as much as possible. Don't fear how you are pronouncing your words. Practice until you can get the right pronunciation. You can pretend you are introducing yourself to new people, giving instruction, presentation, and many more. Tip number 6. Listen to yourself. To know where your pronunciation problem is to start improving. It is important to realize when there is room for improvement. The best way to find out is to record your voice via your phone, iPad, voice recorder, etc. Listen carefully to your pronunciation and compare your pronunciation with that of an expert or native speaker. Try to note the points where your pronunciation differs so that you know what you need to improve. Continue to record your voice and at the same time watch and listen to English speakers, especially the native. Actively look for areas for improvement by comparing yourself with different speakers and set goals for yourself. By setting goals, the learning process also becomes more fun because you work towards something. Tip number 7. Watch yourself. Talking is a physical movement. This is because the English language uses different sounds and movements of the speech organs. Stand in front of a mirror and see what happens to your face when you pronounce some words. How do your mouth, lips, and tongue move? Do they move in the same way as a native English speaker? Film yourself while you speak English and look back to check if you did it right. Tip number 8. Find a practice buddy. To improve your pronunciation, you must receive feedback. Look for a colleague, a friend who also wants to improve his or her pronunciation and work on it together. Another person will often recognize errors in your pronunciation that you are not aware of. Agree to identify each other's mistakes. Record your conversation and give each other unsolid criticism. By doing this, you are actively working on improving your English pronunciation. You can also choose to compare yourself with other people around you and see how they pronounce certain words. Normally, there are a number of fixed characteristics of English that are difficult for people in certain regions. Listen carefully to how your fellow countrymen pronounce some of the English words to find out what common problems are. You often recognize the wrong statements less quickly than yourself. By listening to the pronunciation of other people, you can check whether you make the same mistakes. Tip number 9. Sing a song. Learn the lyrics of English song by heart and reverb with it. Through singing, you learn to relax and the pronunciation will feel more natural. Singing also ensures that you work on your stress sentence, rhythm, and intonation. Tip number 10. Practice English sounds. There is a special alphabet in which each letter describes a standard sound. This is the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA. This special alphabet can be a useful help if you want to focus on specific individual sounds. Look up the pronunciation of English sounds via the IPA on the internet and try. That way you can improve your English pronunciation well. Conclusion. There are many ways you can improve your English pronunciation by practicing it yourself. The above tips can guide and help you become better with your pronunciation. However, it will be best if you keep practicing. Become familiar with English words and you will find it. You naturally become more confident when speaking it.